What's up, guys? I am so excited to be with you today on day 4 of our Alone series. I think it's been a good series, but so far we've been talking about how we're never truly alone because God's always with us and things like that. But today we're going to take a little bit different direction. We're going to talk about how we can deal with some of the actual physical loneliness that we're talking about. Because remember, we said in day 1 that we are social beings, and it is not good for us to be alone. So we're going to talk about how we can work on that physical relationship, that physical loneliness, to build up some relationships. Now, bear with me, because the advice I'm going to give is going to seem a little counterintuitive at first. It's like, really? That makes no sense to deal with me and my loneliness. But bear with me. I think it'll make sense in the end. Let me ask you this. Who do you think that might be struggling with this loneliness a little bit more than you? See, it's a weird question, because you're like, what? Okay. I mean, you want me to think about how bad they have it and say I've got it better? Because that really doesn't help. And it doesn't. I remember growing up, mom's like, these kids in Asia would love to have it, or kids in Africa, whatever, wherever the country of the moment, Ethiopia, whatever it is, the country of the moment that's poor. Your parents are asking, well, they would get those kids left it up. My thought is, send it to them. I mean, I'm not going to eat it. But you can see I got over that pretty quickly. But, here's the thing. That's not what we're talking about. That's not what we're talking about. Bear with me. What I'm getting is certainly there's people that are dealing with loneliness a little bit harder than us for whatever reasons. A loss in the family, first Mother's Day this just passed without someone, without a mother, or those kind of things happen. And so there's people that are struggling with. There's once we figure out who those people are that might be struggling a little bit more than us, there's the second part of this. The second part we need to do is we need to ask, what can we do to help them? Okay, here's where it comes, where we're going to be looking up some scripture and Psalms here in just a minute. And what that scripture says is it talks about how God places the lonely in families. Now, he's not talking about he's just going to pick them up, drop them off into a new family. Here's your new family now, because that would be a little weird. But what he is saying, that God is trying to put his people, God's people, to work together to help those that are lonely, okay? To give them a sense of community, that kind of thing. So it may, how are we going to do that? How do we bring a sense of community to someone else who's lonely? Inviting them to church, or right now online church, or, if you're doing send them a message. If you're doing a chat line, like one group of us, we've done what we call a little happy hour thing, where we just get on a Zoom call and just talk. Okay, I've met new people and that kind of stuff, and talked about old stories and that stuff. It's been amazing just to get together and just talk to folks. There's 100 different things that we can do right now to reach those, and it depends on where they are. It may be, if it's an older person, going through step by step how to do Zoom. I remember just the other night for Mother's Day, my sister-in-law on a phone call trying to walk my mother-in-law through how to do Zoom. She's not technologically inclined, but she took the time. And my sister-in-law looked a little frustrated doing it, but it was worth it when she finally got on the call and got to see her daughters and, her grandsons. And so that was pretty awesome. So what do we do? And what does this have to do with your loneliness? Well, here's the amazing thing. When you take the focus off of what you're going through and the problems that you're having, all of a sudden the problems seem to be less important, because you're focusing on what God has, not what you have. Okay, you're focusing on what God is doing, not where you're lacking, and that's going to draw you closer. Not only that, you're actually talking to somebody, which kind of solves the problem anyway. So here's the deal: take the first step, figure out who's someone around you that needs some help. Take the initiative, talk to them. All right. Now, Psalms 68, 5-6. A father to the fatherless, a defender of widows, is God, who is holy in his holy dwelling. God sets the lonely in families. He leads out the prisoners with singing, but the rebellious live in a sun-scorched land. John 4:11-12. Dear friends, since God loved us, we ought to love one another. No one has ever seen God, but if we love one another, God lives in us, and his love has made complete in us. All right, guys. So the big point is God's love works through us. Be God's love to the lonely.